Hey everybody, welcome back to our homestead kitchen. We're doing all the things. That's right. We're making jams and all the jamming things is what we have going on in this homestead kitchen today. So as you can see, I've been to the gym, I've worked out, and now I'm back in my kitchen doing a few things. Summertime actually happens to be my very favorite time of the year because I'm able to be at home. I do enjoy my job. I love all the things that I get to do, but I 100% love being at home with my kids. It's something that I've learned to love over the years of honestly just being a summer stay-at-home mom. When I made that decision for my children, it just ended up being the very best decision for us. My kids also enjoy having me at home, even though there are times when they don't appear to enjoy it. Trust me, they do. So we're in the homestead kitchen today, and I am getting some jars into the canner. Now, I have a glass top stove, so please, please, please be mindful of what you have and what you're working with. I've canned items up to 45-minute boiling time and have not had any issues. I do not use my large canner on my glass top stove though. If I have to use my large canner where I can do multiple batches at a time, I go to my sister's house. So today I'm making the classic strawberry jam with a twist. This recipe comes from the ball masonjars.com. It's the ball canning from the ball website. It's the recipe that I got from there. So I am topping some strawberries, trying to save as much of the berry as I can. I'm honestly just taking off the green part. And you will see that I did have some carrots in the sink that I later processed and put in the freezer. We actually just sliced them. I was going to do can some carrots, but I didn't have time on this day and I didn't want to lose any produce. So I just sliced them and put them in the freezer. I'm doing a little twist on this recipe by not just making this strawberry, but I'm making this strawberry and peach. Now, these peaches don't look fully ripe just yet. I got them from Food Lion, so I'm working with what I had. And I find that any time you want to do fruits, it's the easiest thing is to just put them in your food processor and let them process. Let the blade do all the work for you. So I put in probably 4 or 5, maybe 5 or 6 medium-sized peaches and simply just put them in the food processor to process. I put them on a pulse, let them pulse for a little bit, and that pulp flesh is now ready to be used. I'm getting all of my utensils that I'm going to need as far as measuring things. And note that I did open up that cabinet, and I'm going to forget in just a few minutes that that cabinet is open and almost lose my leg. But that is okay. All is well. I am still standing. It did hurt though. That's all I'm saying. Be careful you know what? You don't need that leg, lady. Okay? You don't need that leg. You're going to be all right. So here I am now. I'm just taking that flesh out and putting it into a bowl because I'm going to then process my strawberries, which are going to be the same. I'm just going to take those strawberries and put them into the food processor, and I am going to process them through just like I did these peaches. Now that I've gotten those peaches all done, I'm going to move on to the strawberries, and again, same process. Food processor, strawberries, pulse. It takes quick work or makes quick work out of getting that fruit together. Jackson was helping me put on my Am's Chef tabletop burner because we were making some salsa also. I'm not going to show the salsa in this video, but we did make a salsa, and Jackson was getting that burner on so that I could go ahead and get my tomatoes peeled. So again, quick work of those strawberries, and I just combined those two fruits and then measured in. Now, this is just a regular stock pot that I got from the grocery store. It works out just fine for me to do all of my canning projects thus far. So I'm mixing in the peaches and the strawberries we're going to be doing 5 cups of peaches, 1/4 cup of lemon juice from the bottle, 6 tablespoons of the Ball Real Fruit Classic Pectin, that's the one in the yellow box, and then 7 cups of granulated sugar. Once we get all those ingredients into the pot, we're going to bring it up to a rolling boil and let it boil for another minute. Now, I had about a cup's worth of fruit left over, and I almost thought about putting it in, but I didn't want to recalculate my ratios, and I just wanted to follow the instructions the way they were. So Jackson's going to use that to make like a fruit compote. So I just get the Sure Gel from my grocery store, and again, I just put in how many tablespoons it told me to put in. And I think each box has about 4 to 6 tablespoons in there. I don't remember right off the top of my head, and I had already used some of that other one. So I think it's about 6 tablespoons is what's in each box, but measure it out just to be sure. So I have all of my fruit, all of my pectin, and the last thing I was going to add was my sugar, which I've already done. Here I am just taking out my jars. Now, the reason I put the jars into the canner is not necessarily to sterilize, because sterilization is not required standard anymore, but because I'm putting hot jam into the jars, I wanted the jam jars to be warm, so I did not have any risk of cracking. And so sister just came in to help me get that stirring so nothing stuck to the bottom of the pot, because it is a stainless steel. And then I'm just getting out my jars. So I have half pint jars and pint jars in there as well. And so I'm just getting those out. What I find is the half pint, the quarter pint to the half pint always make better jam serving jars, because the larger the jar is, you are going to eat it. Now, this is a way that I found easiest to skim the foam instead of doing it while I'm cooking, is once that rolling boil timer is done, if you lean your pot to the side, take your utensil and just gently scrape the top of your jam, you can then get all of that foam kind of concentrated in one area, and we just skim that foam off into a bowl. None of my kids like to eat the foam, which is perfectly fine. So we ended up just tossing that out. I don't like to give the dogs way too much sugar. They would have ate it, but I am not here for it. And then what we did was we proceeded to fill up those jars to within a 1/4 inch headspace, top them after we did our vinegar paper towel to make sure that we didn't have anything on our rims. And then we went ahead and canned those. Process time is 10 minutes, and then you leave it inside of the canner with the heat off for 5 minutes. Then you can take it out. I think every single jar sealed, and that one jar that's sitting here that's not lidded yet, I'm going to give that right to my neighbor, because it didn't go up to a 1/4 inch headspace, but I canned it anyway, and I knew they were going to eat it immediately and put it in the fridge. So it just worked out fine. We did let this sit for 24 hours before we handled it. And here we are. You won't get to see me do the salsa, but these are tomatoes that came out of my garden. These are, I can't remember what the names are. They came from Vigo Garden. So thank you, Vigo Garden, for sending us those tomatoes. And I can't remember the name of them, but they're yellow. They're not red. And I'm using my Am's Chef countertop burner, and it's working out just fine. Here are the jams all processed after everything was out of the canner. This is the salsa. We did end up canning, I think it was 5, 6, maybe 6 half pint jars of salsa, and I've given away almost all of those. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, and we'll see you all next time. Bye now.